Police have no duty to protect you, and that's from the Supreme Court on down.
Strange as it may seem, the police have zero duty to protect you from robbers, rioters, or criminals.
The government has no legally enforceable duty to protect the public.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Good to see you. As you saw from that intro, it's true, the police do not have a duty to protect. And that's not saying they will not respond to you, they will not protect, they will, not come and intervene on your behalf, but they don't have a duty to. And what that means is, if there's a mistake made, and I'll play a video for you, a tragic story of 3 women, if there's a mistake made, they're not liable. So let's watch that video. I believe it's Winnebago versus DC. That might be wrong. It's one out of DC, I know that. It's 3 women living in a townhome. Let's watch.
In March 1975, 3 women were living in a townhouse in Washington, D.C. Under D.C. law at the time, they were forbidden to own not only handguns, but mace, pepper spray, or other non-lethal self-defense tools. Late one night, a pair of thugs broke in and began beating and raping the woman who lived downstairs. Upstairs, the other women called 911 and were told police were being sent. As the court later acknowledged, the 911 dispatcher only reported a domestic disturbance at the address. The squad car that responded saw no disturbance, checked the door, and left. The women upstairs called 911 again and were again told help was on the way. This time, the dispatcher didn't even bother sending out a radio call. Believing their friend was dying, the women upstairs called down that the police were on the way.
Let me pause there for a minute on the video. This is why everybody in the gun community says the firearm, the gun, is the equalizer. Do you think if one of those 3 women had a firearm that it would not have been used to protect themselves? Something to think about. Let's watch.
Instead of fleeing, the thugs grabbed them too, and, as the court noted with restraint, subjected the 3 women to a 14-hour nightmare of rape, beatings, and abuse. The women sued the District of Columbia and lost. The D.C. Court of Appeals ruled that the city had no legal duty to protect its citizens, even when its employees had promised that help was on the way and then refused to send it. Under the ruling, the D.C. government was free to refuse to protect its citizens, even as it was free to ensure that they could not defend themselves either.
So as you can see from that video, the second time around, the dispatcher didn't even send a patrol car. They sued, they lost. The 4 women suffered, the tragedy of being raped and tortured for, 14 hours, something like that.
People are quoting, Warren versus DC, saying cops don't have a duty to protect anybody. That's why they're lazy and they don't do anything. They make a lot of comments like that, or they say, just do the bare minimum, you lazy fucks, because you don't have a duty, blah, blah, blah. Well, that court hearing, or that court case and the court cases that led up to that, they did not necessarily say what you think they're saying. These were people that sued police departments for not protecting them. What the courts have said is that the police officers serve the public. They have a job of trying to keep the entire public safe, and that no one individual can sue the police for not protecting them, because the police should not be held accountable for the actions of criminals. That is what that case says. It does not say anything about cops don't have a duty to protect. That's why they're not doing their job. The people who sign up to be police officers sign up for this job because they want to protect people. They take that as a sacred mission of theirs. But as every police officer knows, it's not possible to save everybody. You can only kind of affect the lives that you have the opportunity to in that moment.
That is definitely why you are your own first responder. You need to take your safety into your hand. There are several places where you can train and learn how to be your own first responder. I'll put a couple video links in the description so you can kind of click on them and watch. Like I said, I linked those videos. You guys check those out. Protect yourselves. Learn. Be situational awareness. Have your head on a spin, on a swivel, and keep an eye on your environment. Don't bury yourself in your phone. My wife's got a bad habit of this. She's on her phone, not paying attention to, being in a restaurant. She's on her phone and not looking around what's going on. That's just part of your self-protection, is to be aware of your environment. You guys, I hope you have a blessed week. I hope this video gives you some value, and you have the right to defend yourself. Oh, and speaking of that, guys, one more thought. So there's not only carrying the protection, but there's another part of that, protecting you legally. I'm a UCCA member. That's provided for me by my church. I am looking into becoming, joining attorneys on retainer. And I think I made a video about that. Actually, I did. I made a video about that, with the difference between insurance and an attorneys on retainer type situation. And I like UCCA's training. They give you a lot of information. I'm not sure if I'm 100% comfortable with the coverage, put it that way. So I'm looking heavily into becoming an AOR member, just for the reason that, yes, I can carry a gun in my state. I have a permit, and it's a constitutional carry state anyways. However, just like a gentleman over here in Meridian, Idaho found out that protecting his family cost him $30,000 in legal fees. He was charged for protecting his family. He was acquitted, no charges, not spending time in jail. And I brought you this story too. I'll try to link it in the description. But having that second half is very, very crucial. Having nothing is not an option. You need to decide for yourself if you're going to have something like right to bear arms, attorneys on retainer, UCCA, any type of insurance or program that protects you legally is vital if you're carrying a concealed weapon, or you're carrying a weapon on you, or you're using one for home defense. All those scenarios can land you in legal trouble, and you need to protect yourself against that as well. Guys, have a great week. Love you. Peace out.